General.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this speech from the throne. I will be sharing my time with the member from Don Valley East as well. Speaker, it's always a great honor and privilege to stand up in the House in this legislature and speak on issues that are important to our province and to my community of Ottawa Centre. It's even more, it's even a greater honor when I see a good friend of mine going back to university days, Suleiman Aziz, who's here in the House with his family. We go back to our late teens and early 20s, so he can share a few stories about me through university days. They are here because Suleiman's son Hamza is a page from Guelph, so it's really welcome to the whole family. Thank you for being here. Speaker, I'm very excited to speak about this speech from the throne because it's a speech that that speaks to the values that we all share as member of our society and our community. And that value is one and simple, and that is to look after each other, to care for each other in our lives every single day as human beings, as fathers and mothers and grandparents, as uncles and aunts, friends and neighbors. We are determined to look after each other. We are persuaded to look after each other, to care for each other. As father of two young children, the number one big lesson that I continue to teach my children is to look after each other, is to care for each other, because that's the most important value we have. And this speech from the throne, Speaker, really captures that. And I think it's exciting to talk about that because sometimes government are seen as large institutions removed from our daily lives, and people forget that government has a role. Government has a very important role to make our lives easier, to make our lives better. And this particular speech from the throne, and my reason for supporting this speech, is exactly that, because it really focuses on things that matter to us, and that is to care for each other. The speech, Speaker, really encapsulates our desire to build a caring and a fair society, a society that gives everybody an opportunity to grow, because that's how, Speaker, we will build Ontario up. So when, Speaker, I'm in my community of Ottawa Centre, the conversations I'm having with people at the doors, as I am out canvassing every weekend as I do, and as I've been doing over the last 10 years since I've been elected member of provincial parliament, the conversations we are having, Speaker, is around the kind of initiatives the government is working on that is making life easier for everyone. Things like OHIP Plus, making sure that we have got truly, for the very first time, a farmer care program that is going to help our children and youth till the age of 25. I cannot tell you how many parents come up to me or tell me at their doors what an incredible program it is, and that is the right thing to do. And now that we are planning to expand that program to cover all our seniors 65 and plus, I think it's even more exciting to note that we're getting that much closer to a universal farmer care program, a coverage of all 4,400 medications that are available by way of prescription. Similarly, Speaker, with OSAP, similarly, Speaker, with the expansion of OSAP program to ensure that that students who come from low to mid-income families are able to get the college and university education they deserve. No longer, Speaker, the criteria is whether you have the ability or the mean to go to college and university. The financial part is taken care of. If we are going to truly put an end to cycle of poverty, Speaker, we know education is the most powerful tool to accomplish that. And by making free tuition available for students coming from low-income families to mid-income families is a tremendous, tremendous move. And Speaker, not to mention the increase in minimum wage to $14 an hour starting last January, and then to $15 an hour on January the 1st, 2019, truly making sure that we have a living wage in our province. It's really creating an opportunity for us, for people who rely on minimum wage to live a better life, so that they are not depending on food banks, so that they are able to use that money to buy clothes for their families, to get good healthy food for their children, the kind of things we should all care about. Speaker, that is what a care agenda looks like, where we are focusing on things that helps people in their day-to-day lives, and that is what our government is doing. Speaker, I would be remiss if I did not speak to us about the kind of important investments we are making in my community of Ottawa Centre to make sure that people have the most important public services available to them, because those are key. Things like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. In terms of healthcare, Speaker, we're really fortunate in Ottawa Centre to have 3 really robust community health centers that provide just remarkable community health and social services at a community level in the downtown core of Ottawa. And all those 3 community health centers, Speaker, are growing thanks to the investments that our government is making. For example, we just recently started construction in a major expansion project at Centertown Community Health Center, over $5.4 million, so that they can serve more people from our community on things like mental health and addiction services, diabetes, child care, very important services to have a healthy downtown community. Similarly, Speaker, the Somerset West Community Health Center just recently was approved for a supervised safe injection site by federal government. Our government is providing them the operational funding and capital funding so that supervised injection site could open as quickly as possible. Again, Speaker, that just goes to saving lives, making sure that those in our community who are suffering from the disease of addiction, are victim of this opioid crisis, have the kind of supports they need right at the community. And I'm also very excited about the Carlington Community Health Center, which is building a very unique housing and a health hub, where they're building 42 units for seniors, affordable housing, but they will have access to state-of-the-art community healthcare right on site. That's a project almost close to $5 million that is taking place between my riding and Ottawa West Nepean, represented by Mr. Shirali. Speaker, similarly on the healthcare front, the Ottawa Heart Institute, which is a remarkable institution, is seeing a $200 million expansion. Actually, the opening is tomorrow, so I can't wait to tell you how excited we are to have that world-class healthcare. Speaker, education is another fundamental value, as I spoke to us earlier. And when I see the schools in my community, like the new Broadview School, a $15 million investment, up and running, Elmdale Public School, also, Speaker, located in Wellington Village, will be seeing an investment of $3.6 million, so we can build an addition and then upgrade this historic school into a modern place for our students to learn. And I'm really excited to note, Speaker, that for the first time we have our first French public school, Saint-Arnaud, in my community. We had a French Catholic school. Now we also have a French public school where my son actually is attending, getting his education now, making sure that we are further promoting and strengthening education in French. Speaker, I'm also privileged to have Carleton University in my riding, which continues to grow with quality programming, with more students getting good education, and of course, a lot of those students are benefiting from the changes we have made to our OSAP program. Speaker, lastly on infrastructure, if I may very quickly highlight to you, the LRT construction is going forward. Phase 1 is almost done, investment of $600 million by our government. But Speaker, we're just not stopping there. We in fact already have committed over $1 billion investment in Phase 2 of LRT that will really connect the rest of the city to the downtown core, including our airport, so that Ottawa as a capital city is really genuinely a G7 city. So we're really excited about that. And not to mention, Speaker, the investments we're making in affordable housing, such as projects by Cornerstone Housing for Women and the John Howard Society, where we really focused on putting an end to chronic homelessness in parallel with the provincial Ontario's housing strategy. And these projects, which are happening in the downtown core, in the community of Ottawa Centre, the riding that I have the honor of serving, are really starting to make an impact in making sure that people have access to good housing with the appropriate supports around mental health and addiction and other healthcare services. Speaker, I can go on and on, but I just wanted to give you a highlight of what really on the ground, in the front lines, in a community care agenda looks like, an agenda that is championed by our Premier and this government. And that's why, Speaker, I am motivated and excited to support this speech from the throne and the budget that is coming, and I urge all members to do the same thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.